On today's Chasing the Game, we have Tiffin Calvert's head baseball coach, Matt Coleman. We talk about him, his career, and the Senecas' postseason run to the state semifinals. Chasing the Game starts right now. All right, welcome into Chasing the Game. Matt Coleman is here. Matt, thank you so much for doing this, for coming up to Toledo to do this. Appreciate the time. You guys are in an awesome spot in this season right now in your program's history. State semifinals are coming up. Just what's the energy like in the dugout, in the team program, just the community? What's it like?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me up here. It's always great to come up north. And
absolutely.
Actually, this week we're excited to go east, and the excitement is there. The kids have worked really hard for this opportunity. It's been a long couple years from our last trip, when we played Highland out there in Akron in 2023. So there's been a lot of anxious, getting to this point. But we're excited from the opportunity to represent Northwest Ohio again and be ready to go.
Yeah, when you guys get there the first time in 23, is it satisfying at all? Or the other coaches I've talked to, like, Defiance with Rick Weaver, he talks about winning a state championship and all you want to do is just get back to the next one. Was that what it felt like in 24? It was like all we want to do is just get back to that, and it's not satisfying unless we do? Yeah,
for sure. The first year we went, we played Lincoln View, and quite honestly, we were a little bit overmatched. We won 3 games that we probably, I'm not going to say we didn't have any business winning because we believed in ourselves, but outside of our locker room, I don't think there's a whole lot of people expecting us to. So we went into that game, and I think we were no hit into the 7th inning. Mason Johnson came through with a hit. And then, yes, it kind of just elevated the program where the expectations and the work ethic in the offseason, you want to get back to that point. And 23 was a special year, win 30 games, get to play, Berlin Highland, and be 1 out away from going to the state title game and have a little bit ripped out of our hands. But we didn't capitalize on opportunities, so it was another life lesson to, hey, what do we have to do to be a little bit better? And, fast forward to last year where we didn't quite get it done in the regional in 10 innings, and that helped us focus on the offensive side of things and executing in situations, and led to this year. Had some adversity in the regional finals there in the first inning against the team we played, 4 out of the last 5 years, and it was great to come through and trust the process and come through. And Logan Ritzler did a great job of, bearing down, and everyone did their role. So.
Yeah, you guys absolutely, like you mentioned, a ton to unpack there. You guys beat Warren JFK, a team that you've had this history with. Can you explain the history with you guys? Because you guys have played, as you said, 4 of the last 5 years, and it's always been these memorable games.
Yeah, going back to 2021, we lost in the regional final to them 7-2. Game we felt pretty good about. Had some strange things happen in that game. They go on to win a state title that year. Then 22-23, we didn't play them in 22-23. We were able to get a little revenge. Last year they get us and set the stage for this past week. And a little adversity with the weather wasn't perfect, with a little bit of drizzle, and it was just, the storm happened right in the first inning. 5 out of the first 6 batters reach, and we were able to just settle in and take a good punch from them, and deliver one of our own in the 6th and 7th inning. So it was a good life lesson, good baseball lesson.
Yeah, AJ Shoemaker had that awesome RBI single there at the end. That's one of those big moments in that game. Can you explain how full circle that was for him? After the history that you guys have had with Warren.
Yeah, he's been since his freshman year. First game was his freshman year. He's a junior now. He's been in our starting lineup, either in our 2 or 3 hole. First time to state, didn't have the ideal circumstances with a ball that looked like was caught, was decided upon that it wasn't. Full circle to 2 years later, and be able to come through in a clutch situation with 2 hits in both the 6th and 7th inning. He's been consistent. He's been our leading hitter most of the year, hitting over 400, and it was pretty cool for him to have that moment.
Yeah. Is the anxiety not as present this time around as opposed to 23? Because you guys kind of know what to expect this time? Yeah,
I'd like to think there's a sense of calmness. I think obviously we know some of the expectations, and that's been our real focus. Don't get caught up in the results. At the end of the day, yes, we want to win. We want to represent Northwest Ohio. We want to represent Calvert, ourselves, our family, and God. But at the end of the day, we're going to be focused more on the process and the execution of things, and let the chips fall where they may. We're going to be competitive and do our thing.
Yeah, you and I were talking before we started. You're a Tiffin Calvert guy, graduated from Calvert. You've been a coach on and off for 25 years now, in baseball, wrestling. What does this community mean to you? Because it seems to be very special. I mean, not just to you, but to a lot of people. Can you kind of explain your relationship with Calvert?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my mom attended Calvert. My dad coached me at Calvert. He's a Vietnam vet himself, and watched him go through struggles and coach me. And now to have my children, to be able to my wife's a softball coach, and to coach my own sons, and to watch my daughter compete it's awesome. I mean, 1998 graduate myself, and was given the opportunity. Funny thing is, it was my senior year at TU. Both my sons probably throw harder than I did now than I did in college. So, I decided my senior year, I was offered the head wrestling coach job, took it, and then a pitching coach job, and then the following year I became the head baseball coach. And I stepped down for a few years because I wanted to. It was hard with 3 kids to be the parent I wanted to be. But now to be able to coach them at the high school level, there's some challenges to that, and with regard to patience and maybe being a little tougher on them than other guys, or perceptions of other things. But it's been an incredible experience. Wouldn't change it for the world. And I said, I think after I stepped down the second time, I said I'd never be a head coach again. Sure enough, in 2020, in which my first year back was COVID, a good friend of mine, Dr. Jeremy Marinas is our head of schools, asked me to come back and be the head coach, and I didn't pass it up. So it's been a fun run after that first COVID year, and the last 5 have been special with district titles and 3 runs to state. So, but it's made special in my opinion by the people. I had lots of mentors in my life. I mentioned my dad, but lots of coaches that have paved the way. Mike Coucher was my first wrestling coach, who has some history up here in Toledo at Central Catholic, and just thinking of my coach, Mike Hart was an assistant coach, and Howard Stoltz, Rick Dimmoth. I was able to have Coach Hart in the dugout and get a call from Mr. Stoltz right after the game. It was just special. It's tight knit community. Blake's senior class this year has 31 students. We're hoping we're building it in the right direction. Tucker's freshman class has 52, and it's amazing with the small community how competitive we've been able to be at the sports side of things. And I think from a faith side of things and academic side of things, I'm excited, and I'm actually getting to be a part of that as a student and family support specialist at the school the last 3 years, so it's been fun. Yeah.
Do you feel like they make you want to be a better coach? You having your 2 sons there on the team. Like, I know you said harder, but on them. But do they make you a better coach?
Yeah. To me, I mean, coaching is a lot about just mentorship and accountability. I've spent a lot of time 17 years at the Park and Rec, then 7 years in a mentoring program, and I realized during that time, and now the last 3 have been at Calvert, but during that time, I just had coaches and seeing my kids being raised. I just want a mentor, or a coach's main job is to mentor kids and hold them accountable. And sometimes that's hard. And I feel like in this day and age, kids, even though they may not feel they want to be held accountable, they want to be held accountable because they want to know that you're paying attention to them. And that's all we try to do as a coaching staff. I have a great coaching staff, including my brother, and it's awesome to get to coach my nephew too on the team. So, but we just really try to make it about more than baseball and the life lessons that go along with it.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is a tight-knit community in the sense that, I mean, there's so many like relatives and friends of people who have known each other for so many generations. Do you feel like you've gotten better with each iteration as a head coach, from the first time you were there to the second time to now this iteration, that you're the best that you've ever been as a baseball coach?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm sure everyone have their opinion about that, but it's been fun. Yeah, we have 4 sets of brothers on the team, so it is tight from that perspective, but there's definitely different things I've learned over the 20 plus years there's things I think I'm better at, there's things that I think back to, those 20 years ago, we had a great group of parents that trusted me as, a 21, 22-year-old, probably a little punk, in terms of a coach. I had a lot to learn and probably thought I knew more. And it is cool to kind of look back and realize. I talked to umpires. I was just talking to Chad Snyder the other day from Finley, and just to think about my development, and maybe a little bit hot-headed at that time, or think I knew more than I did. And it's fun to think about and keep things in perspective now, and to think about, you know, the true role of sports in a kid's life. So
yeah, is baseball your favorite sport, would you say, or are you one of those coaches because you coached more than one sport? You're like, whatever's in season. Were you that?
Yeah,
guy?
I think that's the case with my kids sometimes, but and when I played it, I was kind of like that. But in terms of a coach, like I've always said, baseball was always my first love. But with wrestling, I love seeing the development of a youngster and a young man coming in freshman year, and seeing the self-discipline and the will and the work ethic that goes into wrestling. So I'm going to challenge my boys, my baseball players, to work as hard as a wrestler in the off season. But so yeah, I think the love for coaching and seeing the development of a wrestler is just, it's crazy, and it's very different than baseball. But yeah, my love is baseball. I think my father instilled that into me, a long time ago, both wrestling and baseball. I mean, he would be there coaching me in wrestling with, wooden leg. He lost his leg in Vietnam, so as I mentioned, so it was hard to make excuses in wrestling. So yeah, I'd say that's a long-winded answer there.
No, that was great. You're a big Guardians fan, right? I mean, you enjoy watching Cleveland baseball.
Yeah.
Last year, you were in playoffs, first round between the Tigers and the Guardians. What was that like, being a part of that series? We have a clip here that we'll run, but just looking back on that series just a few months ago.
Yeah, it's really been surreal to think about that memory. Lane Thomas and the home run ball that came off Tarek Skubal. And honestly, Patrick Steyer's had challenges over this whole winter, and it's been cool to see my, family and come back together and embrace him. He's fought through sepsis and double pneumonia, and he's always FaceTiming us, wishing us good luck. He was one of the first to text after the game on, Thursday. So yeah, it was Guardians. Yeah, it's that memory is like crazy just to think about it. Just really surreal.
Yeah. With that in mind, let's take a look at this clip. This is a story about you. This is about the Guardians and the Tigers series last year. Let's take a look.
What you see here is a baseball, but it's not just any ball. It's the Lane Thomas fifth inning grand slam ball that put the Cleveland Guardians in the American League Championship Series. Now it belongs to a Tiffin man who is cherishing it forever.
Pitch. Thomas swings, hits a high fly ball deep into left field. It is up. It is going to be a grand slam.
Because it stayed up there forever. And I've caught baseballs before, but I'm like, holy cow, don't drop this one.
Matt Coleman is the head baseball coach at Tiffin Calvert High School. On Saturday, he and his cousin, Patrick Steyer, were sitting in the bleachers in left at Progressive Field, watching their favorite team, the Guardians, when in the fifth inning.
On the first pitch, it's on the bat. It goes up to the air, and I knew it was going to be a grand slam.
A grand slam, and it ended up in Coleman's glove. After catching it, Coleman gave it to Steyer without any hesitation.
When it hit the mid, it was just kind of pandemonium in the stadium, and looking and seeing the motion of Patrick, I knew it was just the right thing, that he was rightful owner of that ball.
Steyer is battling leukemia and is in remission. The two were sitting at the front of the left field bleachers, and turns out it was perfect.
It was such a special memory. Kind of just wanted to soak in and think about the comparisons between 16 and 2024 and Dad and Patrick and what they embody.
2016, Game 6, World Series. Coleman with his late dad Leroy. Nearly the same spot and the same result.
Patrick told me on the way up, and I'd forgotten until we were coming home, but he told me he had a dream about my dad and having to do with the 2016 World Series the night before. So, there's some sort of divine intervention happening there.
Coleman and Steyer recently lost their dads. So sharing this moment together made the moment then and this now forever special.
There was no way someone was going to make you an offer of any kind to get rid of that.
Right.
It's that special to you.
It's very special.
Reporting in Tiffin, Steve Iwanek, WTOL 11.
And so now that you kind of got a chance to rewatch that, is it weird to kind of see yourself on TV like that?
Yeah, that's a little bit crazy in and of itself, and it's hard to think back. I mean, and it's funny to think about Patrick. We were talking about he was going to meet Lane Thomas on the field I'm trying to think, I think it was May. Yeah, second week of May. But he wasn't well enough to meet him. So we're hoping he was talking about giving the ball back to Lane and meeting him, getting going on the field. So, yeah, he's a special person in and of himself. And yeah, the similarities between Patrick and his cousin, my dad, are crazy. And when you talk about overcoming adversity, I'm not suggesting that first inning the other day was anything like any adversity of fighting sepsis or leukemia or losing your leg in Vietnam, from shrapnel, enemy fire. But I think there's so many life lessons that I hope, in some way, shape, or form, if I can teach some lessons to kids on a baseball field about adversity and overcoming things, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. State semifinals coming up Thursday for you guys. You guys are the first ones, I believe, to play D7. You guys are going to be at Canal Park. You're one of the few teams that are at Canal Park. Just how excited are you about that you guys get to, whether win or lose, you guys can say that you guys played at Canal Park this year?
Yeah, I mean, we were really excited. It's funny, I was texting with Roy Jacobs, one of the grounds crew for Akron, because he was one of the guys to console us after the game. He said, "You'll get back here, coach," because it was, the game kind of ended in a little bit of a shock. You're winning 1-0 the whole game, one out away, and didn't get it done. Going to extra innings, and I remember him saying, we'll see you back here soon. You got a young squad, and we played 6 freshmen, I think, 5 or 6 freshmen in that game, which are now juniors. So for it to actually, come to fruition and have it happen, I remember watching, Blake after that game with the emotion of just wanting to win it for Mason Johnson and Nick Palm, the 2 seniors on that team, to now come full circle and be the only senior on the team. I'll never question God's plan, and I'm not suggesting that any results will, for this week, but I know our team will go out and compete, and it's going to be, special to be back in Akron.
Absolutely. You guys have Newark Catholic coming up. That's a baseball powerhouse. I think they've won like 8 state championships in the last 40 years. How do you prepare for a team like that? What do you make of it?
Yeah, we're going to control what we can control, focus on us. We know Newark Catholic has a storied program. Just lost a legendary coach themselves a couple years ago and have a new coach that's doing a great job. They were there in 2022, our first year that we went, and so I'm sure we're hungry to get back. This senior class, or we're freshmen on that team. So we're going to focus on what we can control, prepare, get our arms ready, and prepare each guy for the moment or the role that they have. And that's been really a big thing, is just 1 through 22, and we have some extras too that behind the scenes are doing their role, whether it's helping me prepare to call pitches or getting us ready for IO. Everyone has a role, so I think that's a life lesson in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. This has been awesome. So,
thanks, Chase.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Chasing the Game. Be sure to check out our other episodes on the WTOL 11 Plus app. You can also check out our full library on YouTube and on Spotify. We'll see you guys next time.